Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's weekly market view for Monday, the 10th of July to Friday, the 14th of July, 2023. My name is Vishal. Let's get started. All right, so we are going to start with the Nifty chart. And as you can see, I have multiple time frames. Let's start with the monthly chart. And let us see what the monthly chart is telling us. So we did have a strong opening for the month, but now things seem to be a little cooling off. The demand zone on the monthly chart is from 17,720 to 16,734, a little far away from the current market price. If you look at the weekly chart, we did have this little bit of tired close, but then we had this gap up opening on starting the Monday. Maybe we will come to know this a little bit more on the smaller time frames, whether this is going to be a pause or that it's going to lead into a consolidation. So nothing very, very clear on the weekly chart yet. Let's move on to the daily chart. And if we move on to the daily chart, we see these periods of consolidation. We saw this rally-based rally. Then we saw the market just going above this high, not able to sustain this high. And then there was a little bit of a sell-off coming in. So right now, this all-time high is going to be a little bit of a crucial area, because now if the markets are unable to break this high and close above it, then markets might tend to consolidate or might even start correcting to the downside. If we look at our 60-minute chart, the first signs about today itself, when the markets that closed here on Friday, they gapped up, went on to hit this level of supply, and then went on moving sideways the whole day. So what is going to be crucial now for the market is going to be this low, and any break below this low will probably induce more momentum to the downside. Else the Nifty might just tend to consolidate before taking out this supply zone. So in case if this supply zone breaks and we have a closing above 19,529, then we might expect to see a very, very strong momentum coming to the upside. Else we expect the markets to remain consolidated, or the markets might even show a little bit of a bearish momentum to the downside. Let's move on to the 15-minute charts. So there are some important levels on the 15-minute charts. As you can see that this is a pretty strong area of support. Prices have stayed there for the longest period of time. Even today, when the markets did correct, they filled this gap and they gave us a bounce. So somehow buying is coming into play at these levels. So in case if this level holds, then we might tend to see another rise into the market. But then we also have the supply zone now that the market has created, and we'll have to see how this supply zone plays out, maybe tomorrow or maybe in the coming days to come. If we move on to the 5-minute chart now, the closest levels of demand and supply from the price charts are right here, 19,417 to 432. So in case if we do see a gap up opening tomorrow, this is going to be a little bit of an area to watch out for. Any close above 19,432 will again probably induce a little bit of more momentum to the upside. But let's see whether that happens, because this area could also act as a trap area of supply. On the demand side, we have 19,304 to 19,282, and then we also have this gap level close to around 19,200 odd levels. Let's move on to the Bank Nifty now. And let's look at some of the key levels for Bank Nifty. All right, so if we look at the Bank Nifty now on the monthly chart, again, a little bit of bearishness seen on the monthly chart, but nothing very conclusive yet. We again had a very, very similar candlestick pattern on the weekly close, which is more or less an indecision. And usually when this pattern occurs after a very, very strong move in price, it probably tends to tell us that markets are taking a little bit of a breather or a pause and might tend to consolidate before making the big move to the upside. On the daily chart, we did see a little bit of a bearish momentum on the Bank Nifty after quite a few days of consolidation. And just like how the Nifty just broke and made a new all-time high, the Bank Nifty is also making all-time highs. But again, pretty much this is going to be a very, very strong area of resistance, which is close to around 45,450 odd levels. And if this area breaks and market closes above this, then we might enter into a strong momentum to the upside. In case if Bank Nifty is unable to do that, then we might move into a little bit of a consolidation, taking into consideration we do have this daily demand zone at 44,414.55 to watch out for. If we go on to the 60-minute chart, so there was this supply zone on the 60 minutes, which played out pretty significantly well today. And markets now are in this gap. What will be interesting to see now, whether the markets are able to push a little further up. And we do have this gap level over here, 45,3062, 45,414. And this probably is the gap to watch out for in the coming days, right? So if this gap holds, then markets might again trigger towards the downside and then might take a little bit of help around this area of 44,384 to 44,129. So these are going to be your key levels to watch out for on the 60-minute charts. If we go on to the 15-minute charts, we did fill this gap today. We started to bounce up, and just when we were thinking that the markets are about to take off, we had another spurt of selling in the end, and markets more or less closed at 44,800 odd levels or 900 odd levels, right? So this is going to be the area to watch out for. This is going to be a gap area, and then you have one more supply zone at the top, which is the origin of the move, right? So because this is the gap area, there is a possibility that if markets strongly gap up into this area, then we might see another round of selling coming into the Bank Nifty. So just watch out for this gap level on the 5-minute chart. Now let's move on to Finnifty. So let's go to Finnifty here. And let's assess some of the key levels for Finnifty. So pretty much Finnifty also is more or less looking like the Nifty and the Bank Nifty again on the monthly chart. A little bit of indecision, a little bit of weakness as compared to the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. Again, indecision candle. And we did have a little bit of a weak start. On the daily chart, we are seeing a little bit of tiredness. So a little bit of correction is expected here on the Finnifty. So let's move on to the 1-hour chart. So in the 1-hour chart, we have a very, very interesting level over here, which is more or less like a pro gap level, 20,264 to 20,342. So this will be an interesting area to watch out for. Any gap up into this area will induce more selling pressure, and will try and fill this gap level around 19,931. So if you are trading Finnifty, then just watch out for these levels for tomorrow, because tomorrow will be the Finnifty expiry as well. All right, so keep a close watch on these two levels of demand and supply. On the 15-minute chart, we have multiple levels here. The closest to the current market price are these levels, which I have already plotted on the chart, 20,155 to 20,193. And of course, to the upside, you have 2464 to 2555. And on the demand side, we have 20,035 to 20,005 odd levels. So these are the closest levels. And of course, you have a level at the bottom, but that's a little far away from current market price. Let's move on to the 5-minute chart here on Finnifty. And the closest levels on the 5 minutes that you see over here are 19,946 to 19,909. And then you also see this drop-based drop and this rally-based drop. Although this rally-based drop level has already tested once, but there can be one more spurt of selling pressure coming into these areas. This is more or less classified as a level on top of level. So ideally, you would want to combine these two levels and see how these two levels play out together. So these are your key levels on the Finnifty. Now let's move on to the USDINR chart. So like I said last week, that in case if there is a bullish momentum that comes into the USDINR, we might see a little bit of a correction on the Nifty, and that is exactly what is happening as we speak. So monthly candle has started with a very, very bullish momentum on the USDINR. You can see the weekly candle as well last week has been pretty strong, and has opened or rather had closed very, very strong. This week's candle has opened a little bit of a gap down, but again, that is also because of the fact that Nifty opened gap up. But what was interesting to see is this this drop-based rally of demand, and the way this level played out phenomenally, right? Came straight into this level, formed this candle over here, which was more or less buying pressure in the context of a higher time frame demand, and then just took off from nearly 81.77 levels nearly to 82.60, 82.70 odd levels. So this was a nice move coming out of this area. Again, prices are still consolidating. So the moment they come over here, there is going to be a little bit of a selling pressure unless and until USD/INR takes off from them. But in case if USD/INR breaks out this level, then we might see a deeper correction on the Nifty, Bank Nifty, and the Sensex. Okay, so just watch out for this resistance level here. And in case if Nifty has to remain range bound, then we would expect the USD/INR also to remain a little bearish to range bound. All right, the stock for the week is none other than State Bank of India. We've seen a lot of movement in the PSU banks. And the reason why I've highlighted this stock for the week, because it's in a very, very interesting area right now. So let's go to the State Bank of India chart and let me show you the level that I'm looking for. So let's first start off with the monthly chart. So on the monthly chart of State Bank of India, we did have a break of this level. So currently this area can be called as a level of supply. If you look at the weekly chart, we are trading in this weekly supply zone over here. Although it has tested once, it's moved in strongly here, but that doesn't mean anything yet because this is the weekly chart and the zones are very, very large. If you look at the daily, and if you look closely at this daily chart, we are hovering in this daily supply zone, which is again very, very interesting because we have come there once, we have come there twice, thrice, and now this is the fourth time, right? So it'll be interesting to see whether the price eventually break this level. And in case if State Bank of India breaks this level to the upside, then more or less Bank Nifty is also likely to rally. Now, in context of the above time frames over here, monthly, weekly, and the daily chart, all being in an area of supply, we should ideally be expecting to see a little bit of a correction on State Bank of India. So the level of interest that I'm going to be plotting on State Bank is this area over here, which is this. So this is the area to watch out for. We do have this rally-based drop area as well, but I like this area more because it's, right above these levels where prices came very, very close in giving us a fill and then just retrace back. So any kind of a strong move up into this area of supply will again force a little bit of selling. And because we are in the higher time frame, we might expect to see a little bit of a bearish momentum on the State Bank of India counter. And the prices could be, or we could possibly target this area of demand here. Okay, so just watch out for this supply zone for tomorrow and let us see how it goes. All right, everyone. So this was the analysis for the week. I hope you enjoyed the analysis. Please do keep posting your valuable comments in the comments box. And if you do like our channel, do not forget to hit the subscription button. Wishing you all the very best for this week. See you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
This should not be treated as a recommendation. Please conduct your own analysis or consult a financial advisor before investing.